Hello, I'm Craig Botwood. You may remember me from such shows as the Hoof GP, shut up, GP's Everything, and the Craigie Boy YouTube channel. Today,
I forgot what your channel's called, didn't you?
I did, for a slight second I almost
Sorry,
forgot.
I'm ruining it, sorry.
No, it's okay.
Shut up.
It's okay, I don't mind you talking. No, you can talk. Today I'm going to tell you guys a little story about how it all began, how I met my wife, how I became a hoof trimmer working for Graham Parker, and how Kevin came to join the team. Now for a lot of you this might not be your thing, you might want to take a little nap while this is on, but at least it gets the views up if you keep the telly.
That's it, get them G'd up for it, tell them it's going to be really exciting.
Yeah, but the ones that don't really enjoy it can, as long as they get the views, you know, they can fall asleep while watching it. As long as the views
as long as they leave it running.
Yeah, as long as they leave it running.
Yeah.
Cool. Anyway, roll the intro.
Round and round the world we'll go, putting on the greatest show. So make sure that you don't miss out, just be there. We're taking our shot, bring what you got. We're going all the way to the top.
So I'm not going right back to the beginning of when I was actually born. I'm going back to the year 2001, when I went to do an acting course at Ayr College. Geez, that was 21 years ago. Silly Craigie boy, it's actually 22 years, not 21. So that makes me feel very old. But it was the year that I met Susan for the first time. Susan was 17, I was 18. And we hit it off straight away through a mutual friend that I went to college with, one of her friends. So sadly, we ended up moving on, and we didn't end on bad terms. I just didn't like the fact that she lived in Wigtown and I lived in Girvan. It was a long distance thing and I really didn't want to get into it. But believe me, I regret it now. But as you guys all know, in 2018, me and Susan rekindled our relationship as she texted me and we ended up meeting up, and 4.5 years later, nearly 5 years, we're madly in love and still going strong. And I'm pretty sure that'll always be the case. But when we met up again, I had to obviously make a decision. Whether Susan was going to move to Girvan or move up towards me, or I was going to move down to Wigtown and live with her. Which I'm sure you guys obviously know, it was the latter, and I actually moved down to Wigtown. But it wasn't an easy decision to make because my kids obviously live in Girvan. But it was a choice that I necessarily felt had to be made because I didn't want to uproot Susan's kids from their schools and leave their friends to move up to Girvan. So to me it was a no-brainer because I still saw my kids all the time and I still see them every weekend. So at the end of the day, it felt like the right decision. But through my wife Susan, I met her family, and one of those family members happened to be Graham Parker, aka the Hoof GP. But when I met Graham, he wasn't the Hoof GP, it was just Graham. And back then, it was just Graham Parker hoof trimming. No Hoof GP involved. And Graham, knowing that I didn't have any work down here, knowing that I didn't have a car and I couldn't drive places, hooked me up with a job. And he gave me a job in hoof trimming, working with him, not hoof trimming straight away, because hoof trimming, God, it's not easy. I've worked on a farm when I was 13 for a few years, but it wasn't working directly with cows, it was gathering eggs and cleaning out sheds and all the in between. There was, sorry about that, there was cows, but I never really dealt with them. So this was a whole new experience for me, working right into detail with cows, trimming their feet and actually being around them a lot. So Graham gave me a job, working with him, and I was so grateful. But unfortunately that job was short-lived because it only lasted like 4 months, and then unfortunately money got a little bit tight for Graham and he couldn't afford to keep me on. So sadly he actually had to break the news to me that he couldn't keep me. But then, as you all know, the Hoof GP hit your YouTube screens. And he became a massive success, and with that he was able to employ me back into the fold, and put me straight into a training course. Pretty much 2 or 3 months back into working with him, I was on a training course, getting trained up on how to trim cows' feet properly. And now, I'm a fully fledged hoof trimmer. Who'd have thought that? So it's thanks to you guys that I got my job back. So thank you very much. And Graham was able to start his own merch. But the one good thing about Graham having his own merch is, it means I can steal it. So I'm stealing this hat. Shh. I remember my very first trim. It was scary as hell. Graham watching over my shoulder, me worried that I've got this cow's life in my hands. Basically, if I make her lame, then that cow's, she's knackered basically. But now that I've had the training, I've had Graham watch my every move all that time, I've been on my course, I know exactly what I'm doing. Now if you guys take a moment and just go back and watch one of Graham's earlier videos of me trimming a cow's foot, you'd see that my speed was extremely slow. I was very concerned that I would trim a cow's foot too far and end up causing her pain or making her lame. Whereas now, I'm completely confident in my abilities to trim. This took me a good long time to get to this point, and even now, I'm still learning. So then Kevin joined the team, and that made things a lot easier, a lot more smoother, and a much easier transition for the cows going in and out of the crush at a smooth rate. Which actually helped Kevin because through years and years of working on farms, it had its toll. Graham's endless. How many farms have you worked on?
Oh, a lot.
Just roughly.
Maybe 8.
8 farms?
Yeah.
How did it benefit you to come work for Graham?
Changed my life completely coming to work for Graham, because obviously I've been milking cows for 20 plus years and taking his toll health wise, and now I've got more time for myself, more family time, easier and a good work environment. So no, it definitely changed my life completely.
And it's changed ours completely as well, because it means we've got an extra body there to help us get through the cows quicker. Kevin getting the cows in, then come to help me with the front feet, and Graham's on the back. So it gets the cows in and out of the crush a lot faster. So we know that Kevin's been for an operation, and that was almost 3 months ago. How are you feeling now, Kevin? After being in pain and working alongside us in pain, how are you feeling now?
Like a teenager.
Like a teenager?
Off all my pain relief, like a new man, yeah.
Awesome. So no more having to get the cows in all by myself while Graham's trimming. No more forgetting to put the cow's number in.
He forgot to get her number and now he's doing the walk of shame, running down there trying to catch her number. He doesn't want to do it.
And no more washing the crush all by myself whilst Graham's relaying information about the cows back to the farmer. So to sum up, I found the love of my life, moved to Wigtown, got married with most of my family and friends there, and Susan's family and friends. Unfortunately, a lot of them couldn't make it due to COVID or just not that right time of the year for them to take a holiday. Thanks to Graham, I got an awesome job working with animals, trimming cows' feet, which I never thought was even a thing. And now we've got Kevin, who's joined the team. Who would have thought my life would have turned around so quickly in 5 years? I certainly didn't. Anyway guys, I hope you have enjoyed this story. It's a little more behind the scenes, if you know what I mean. And it gives you guys a little more insight into what's happened in my life in the last 5 years. Anyway guys, if you haven't subscribed to this channel, please do so now, and click that little subscribe button down the bottom there, and give this video a big one of these. Anyway, until next time guys, catch you later.